I like to sing songs that have no vocals and are just instruments. So I just do the
That
noises of
that
them.
sounds exactly like I probably could have guessed that about you.
Welcome back.
Welcome back
back.
to our podcast.
Welcome back. I was
We-
gone. You
Yeah.
were here, but I was gone.
Yeah. And we didn't record any videos.
No,
To
we were like,
release
let's
in the
do
meantime.
this shit in advance. We got fucking 2 months. Let's think about it. We got 1 month. Let's think about it. Me and you, we're good at it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like clear demonstration of both of our ADHD.
Yeah.
And our inability to plan ahead and get things done ahead of time.
You know, we have to give ourselves some credit because we have put out 18 episodes of this show.
Yeah.
And most of the time, we also put it on Spotify. Sometimes a little bit
right.
late. Dude,
I told the person in Discord that we would upload them, I think last week, and we still haven't.
It's like every couple weeks I'll be like, oh, I didn't upload the last 2 weeks, and I upload them in bulk. It's not a big deal. I mean,
It's a big deal for that one person.
it is, and I feel bad.
Sorry.
You know, we got busy.
Who was it?
Um,
I feel like they deserve an actual direct apology. I tried to. TJ?
TJ.
DJ?
TJ.
T as in Tom.
T is in Thormos.
Sorry, TJ,
TJ Detweiler.
that we keep forgetting.
Um,
And who knows how long we'll forget on this episode. You don't know when you're going to hear this apology.
yeah. Yeah, and you're 2 episodes behind now, so you got some catching up to do, bro. Well, how has your 2 weeks been? Or I guess it's been like 3 weeks now. It's been 3 weeks?
Yeah, I guess so. Oh my gosh. My allergies. It's been hot.
Oh my fucking God. What's your electric bill right now?
I don't know. Leslie pays it.
Dude,
I don't want to look at it.
it's obscene.
Yeah. I mean, our AC runs 24/7.
Yeah.
All the time. Even at night.
I thought it would be a great idea to start running a schedule to like let it get hotter in the day and cool it down. Horrible idea because it makes it work harder.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't want it to freeze over or whatever. Bad idea.
Yeah.
The best thing you can do is to not have it on, which is impossible here,
Mhm.
or run it at like 78 degrees, which is impossible here.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah. So my AC can't even keep up.
no one's can. What's your set at?
We've set it at 72. And it usually keeps it around 77.
Jeez, bro. It's set at 70 and it's 73 in here.
Yeah.
It'll sometimes get up to 74. I'm sorry, it's set at 69 right now, which is pretty nice. That's a bad joke. For some context, it's been over 100 for the past 2 months, probably. Like almost, with the exception of 1 or 2 days where it got to 99, it has been over 100 degrees in Austin for the past 2 months. And not even like over 100, like really like 106, 107,
Yeah.
feels like 110, feels like 112.
Yeah.
It's
It
absurd.
has felt like the one teens
Yeah.
for months. Months.
Yeah, and it, like lakes are drying up here. I don't know if you've seen these videos where
Yeah.
like these riverbeds are just dry, and there's
Yeah.
a lake near me that I was like, oh wow, they built a little thing, and then I look back and the lake was just dry.
Yeah, I'm bummed about it. When we go do that guys weekend, if we don't get a lot of rain, we're not going to have a river to hang out in.
Bring a hose.
That's going to help.
Yeah, so that's been a nightmare. I looked and it's like next Wednesday, so like 10 days from now we'll be. Sorry, 8 days from now we'll be 91, which is incredible. I can't wait.
Finally going to break a little.
I hope that it continues to go down because we're in October now, we're in September. We're in Halloween season, so I thought October.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, it doesn't usually get cool in September.
No,
It's
but
usually by Halloween. We're lucky if it's in the 80s.
you're right. Yeah, because I sit outside waiting for kids to come get candy with Grace, and The past couple times we've done it, I've been sweating my ass off.
Sucks.
Yeah. What have you been doing past couple weeks?
Yeah, I mean, I told you when we got here, just not a lot.
Mhm.
Haven't had a lot of responsibilities over the weekend, which has been nice, but also I've been just not taking very good care of myself and in a bit of a non-workout, heavy drinking, self-destructive cycle that I
Sure.
need to break out of. So,
I'm sorry to hear that you're going through that.
it's all good. It happens, I guess.
It
I mean, it
does.
happens to everybody, or probably most people. Maybe you're at one of those assholes who just
Perfect.
has a good life and is never unhappy.
Fucking perfect people. Bastards.
But yeah, for me, man, not a lot to report. Other than we saw Barbie, and Barbie was great.
I too saw Barbie.
Particularly since we live in a weird timeline where we're comparing Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Yeah. It was better.
It was so much better than Oppenheimer, and I never would have thought basically an hour and a half commercial for Barbie would have been better than Oppenheimer, but it was.
Yeah. I went in with the same thought. I was like, I think probably because this got made, it will be at least fun. But I did not expect to go into both of those movies and walk out thinking Barbie was the better one.
Yeah.
Um,
And it was a bit on the nose in a few scenes that I thought was kind of cringe, but
what are you referring to?
so there was like the one scene where the mom goes on the rant about how hard it is to be a woman.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I get that you didn't want that message to slip by anybody's notice, but they were already making those points in like a skillful, interesting way. And then it was like, just so everybody's like 100% clear. I want nobody to be confused that it's hard to be a woman. It's like, okay, now you're just beating us over the head with it.
Yeah, but also consider that this movie is made for people, adults, but also people that play with Barbies and younger audiences. So those people sometimes need a little bit more direct. Like,
That's
the
fair.
thing I appreciated so much about that movie was that, like, if you were a parent of a child who plays with Barbies, you could also appreciate it because there's humor in there that's just for you. Things like,
Mm-hmm.
I'll go beach them off. I'll beach all you guys off. Like, that is hilarious
Yes.
and not something you would expect in a Barbie movie.
Yeah. Ryan Gosling fucking stole that movie, by the way.
I know.
He was so fucking funny.
In a girl power movie, I feel bad that Ryan Gosling was my favorite part, but
he was so
he is the best. Also, like, I would have loved more Michael Cera.
Yes.
He's hilarious.
Yeah.
I hope he's making a comeback. I miss that guy.
I do too.
Yeah, he's hilarious, dude.
Yeah, and the other part of that movie, which I have mixed feelings about, because I felt like there was opportunity that weirdly that the movie had to make and say something kind of profound about how our societies get structured. But then in the end, when it was just like, oh, you can't be on the Supreme Court, but maybe one day you'll have. It's something like you'll get some lower court appointees and have just as much power as women have in the real world. And I was just like, okay, that was funny. And I get it, but it could have it had the chance to actually talk about what an egalitarian society would look like. And they were just like, nah, a matriarchy is going to be just as bad as a patriarchy. But maybe that was the point. I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's what I wasn't sure about. I walked out being like, I don't know if they said something interesting. That was weird.
Yeah.
But maybe it's a Barbie movie, so maybe you don't read into it.
It's a Barbie movie. But it was a lot of fun, man. I was impressed with how self-aware they were letting themselves be of just, talking shit on Mattel, basically. And, big company profits. I was like, I'm impressed, but this is exactly the best thing that this movie could have done, because you're never going to fool the adults watching this into thinking Mattel is cool and big corporations are cool. But yeah.
The scenes of Will Ferrell and the other execs that ridiculous chase scene through the office was so funny. Will Ferrell throwing the key card and being like, "We didn't even need it." It's just the funniest scene.
Dude,
Oh man, it was a great movie.
Oh man, I love Will Ferrell. God, yeah, that was a great movie, dude.
Yeah.
Especially after fucking Oppenheimer, I was like, hell yeah,
Yeah.
good movie. But yeah,
So anyway.
glad you liked it. I was about to go see Talk to Me before we left on our trip, but then we had too much to do. But I'm going to see it at some point. It's a horror movie, A24. It's got good reviews.
Cool.
But I'm not going to see it right now because Grace is traveling and I get scared of the dark alone. So it's going to be a rough week for me to sleep alone and scared. And
Damn.
yeah, I don't get scared of the dark. I just get I get very dreadful nightmares. Like I wake up and be like, fuck, I'm gonna have trouble sleeping.
Damn.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, not often. Happened last night. It's been happening more often, but
I only get concerned sleeping alone when I don't have the dog's also not there.
because you have no
Because I know
sensory
he'll be an
awareness.
alarm bell
Yeah.
if something goes wrong,
Yeah.
and I don't want somebody to break in, and I just will be asleep. I won't wake up.
Yeah, you can't sleep with earplugs in when you're alone. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more scared of ghosts than of people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, I got it.
yeah.
I'm scared of the things that can actually come in and get you.
Like a ghost. I don't really even believe in the supernatural, but
Mhm.
I still have that irrational fear of there's something standing over me.
Mhm.
There's something in the
I think everybody has that to a
dark
degree.
hallway,
Yeah.
This is the best. This is the best drink ever, by the way.
It smells amazing. We don't need to do that part of it though. What else happened? Oh, one morning I woke up. This was like 7 a.m. to a very loud repeating message that's saying whoever's inside of unit blah blah blah, come out with your hands up. This is the police.
Mm-hmm.
They were executing search warrants.
Yeah.
They were saying like 15 or 16. It sounded exactly like they were saying my unit number. And I woke up thinking this was that they were outside my house. And my first thought wasn't fear or paranoia or holy shit. It was, God damn it. Now I gotta deal with this.
You gotta put pants on.
I gotta put pants on.
Oh,
I gotta
man.
go outside. I gotta be like, what's fucking going on?
So did you walk outside?
No. When I realized that it was not at us and at a nearby condo,
You came to enough to
understand, and then I went right back to sleep.
got it.
But anyway, that was a fun.
That's a fun way to wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah. One time I woke up to a mariachi band outside my window. It was for the apartment above me, but they were right outside my window. It was like 11 p.m. I have a video somewhere.
Oh,
What
that's
the
awesome,
fuck, bro? But it was really cool. Someone did a cool thing for their romantic partner. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I went on a ride out one time with the police, and it was on the 4th of July, or maybe it was New Year's, one of the two, because there was fireworks, and someone pulled a gun out and started shooting, not at the people with fireworks, but above them, like this, with a shotgun. And so that's the call I went to, and it was like you said, it was just like a movie. Like we rolled up, and it was like the car I was in, and 4 or 5 other cars all surrounded the house, and you had dudes with riot shields and groups running around to either side of it, all around the house. And then the main car had a big old light, and it put it on, and then it pointed it at the house.
Shit.
And then they had the person on the radio was like, "Come out with your hands up." And they had his name. I don't remember what it was, but eventually he came out. He's like, "What do you want?" And they're like, "You have to come out. You're in trouble." And he goes, "No. They were shooting fireworks, and I didn't like that. It's late." It's 1 a.m.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's great.
He went to jail.
Did you when all the cars rolled up? Did you just stay in the passenger seat?
No, I got out, and I went like this. Like, I was cop 2, and I hid behind the car, and I went, "We're gonna get this guy."
Cuff him, boys.
I did get out. I didn't do the handgun because I didn't want to,
Yeah.
escalate. It's all about de-escalation.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's why you didn't do it. Oh man.
It was a good time.
I wanted to ask you something
Yeah.
because I want to know. I have a question,
Uh-huh.
and I want to know if I'm an asshole.
Yes.
So I think I'm gonna stop going to the cilantro near me
Oh no.
because every time I go,
How often do you go? Let's start with that.
usually once a week.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, we don't need the second part of that drinking.
Oh, with a good whiskey, you have to
No, you
all
don't.
10,000
we
taste
don't.
buds.
No, we can go. We don't need
Go on.
that. Damn it. uh, so this is like derailing my entire brain. All I can think about is those smacking sounds.
Did you miss me?
So I don't know how this is possible, but I always end up ordering the same guys there every time I order.
Uh-huh.
And he doesn't speak any English.
What language does he speak?
Spanish, I
Okay.
assume.
Okay.
He looks Hispanic.
Do you not hear him converse with his fellow employees?
Probably. That's probably why. I can't think of anything specific, but a lot of the people that work there are talking in Spanish.
Okay.
And this is fine. Like, I don't have a problem with people who don't speak English as long as I can figure out how to do it. But that's the problem that we keep running into, is because I can go all the way down the line of just pointing at the things I want.
Easy.
But then I get to the sauce. And they have this one sauce that they don't have on their menu. But that's a sauce you can get. It's the Gangnam sauce. And so we get to the sauce, and I think, I Gangnam sauce. And he goes, Magic sauce? I said, no. Gangnam sauce. And he picks up a different sauce. I said, no. Gangnam sauce. Picks up a different sauce. I said, no. And then he looks at somebody else. And then I'm telling you, this is what happens every single time. Somebody else walks over, and they look at me. And I'm like, yeah, I just want the Gangnam sauce on my burrito. And the guy goes, yeah, you can have Gangnam sauce. And I said, yeah, I know. That's what I want. Like, I'm not asking a question. That's what I'm trying to order.
Yeah.
And then he looks at the other guy, and then the person who speaks English says Gangnam sauce. And the guy goes, oh, puts it on. What is happening?
Are you not saying it good? I was going to
How
say,
else?
learn the Spanish word for Gangnam sauce.
There
but
isn't
I
one.
don't think there is one.
That's the problem. I told this to Leslie, and she was like, yeah, that sucks, because it's not like you can learn the Spanish word. And I was like, I know.
You need to learn the Spanish translation for, I would like to order the sauce that's not on the menu. It's not here. You store it somewhere else for some reason. It is called Gangnam sauce.
Ugh. And I've ordered.
How many times?
5 times.
5 times. Same story.
Same exact story. And at this point,
You think he's fucking with you?
I feel like he has to be. Leslie, I told this to Leslie. She was like, there's no way he's fucking with you. Because he doesn't seem like he's fucking with me. But how could you... Like, I know you see a lot of customers throughout the day, but I would recognize a pattern of one guy who always comes in, who orders a sauce I never know, and remember it.
I mean, we've both worked in food service. You've probably messed with people in that way, just like in a harmless, like, this is, this is not going to do any harm. It's only going to be funny to you, and maybe he will have mild frustration.
Maybe.
You know,
But that's why I'm not going back to that fucking store anymore. And just to be clear, I have no problems with people who don't speak English.
Mhm.
Like, they have every right to work a job. Like, as long as we can figure out a way to figure out the shit,
Can you?
But this is a situation where we're not figuring it out, and now I'm mad.
Can you try one more time and try one more thing? Can you learn like a Spanish greeting to show that like you have the initiative to try to speak Spanish? Don't just say hola. Try something a little bit more in depth. That's all I know personally. Um, just try that, and then maybe he'll respect you more for trying,
Mm-hmm.
and then give you the Gangnam sauce on the first try.
So this is my question.
Uh-huh.
At what point is it okay for me to say, I'm not fucking doing that?
Well,
I'm not going back to that store. Does that
Are you-
make
are
it?
you-
Is that make me kind of a Karen?
no, it makes you conflict averse. You don't want to deal with this small conflict.
It's not conflict averse.
It is because
No, I can't even have the conflict.
You're now going there because you don't want to deal with this scenario where there's confusion. You don't want to be this. You're.
It's confusion averse.
Well,
not conflict.
this is
averse.
our psychiatrist would say that avoidance is the worst thing you can do for these type of situations, and you have to keep going.
I'm not sure that applies to a fast food restaurant.
It does because this is bringing you anxiety, right?
Well, no, I'm just gonna drive an extra 5 or 10 minutes to a different store.
That's a long way, 5 or 10 minutes.
It is, but I am tired of him looking at me like I'm a fucking idiot because I'm ordering a thing that they sell, and they look at me confused.
Which one is the Gangnam sauce?
I don't. What do you mean?
What is it? What is it? What's the flavor?
Oh, it's like, it's got like a little bit of sweetness to it. I don't know. It's
Is it the one they put on the wings? Like it's clear.
no, it's like a
Sugary.
dark. It's like a dark sauce,
Hmm.
like dark red.
Okay,
It's really good.
I bet it is. That place is
Awesome.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that you will no longer be attending Chipotle University. Cilantro University. Sorry. Chipotle's horrible.
Okay, but does it make me? Am I a bad person for
No, I think
being frustrated that I?
I think it is frustrating. I think it is funny, and
Definitely is funny.
would I probably do the same? Maybe, but not with cilantro. I love cilantro too much.
Oh, I'm not going to stop going to cilantro.
Yeah,
I'm just going to go to a different store.
that would be too much for me. Like driving an extra 10 minutes to go to a restaurant that may be very close to me. No, can't do
Yeah.
it. But that's up to, if you want, if that extra 20-minute drive is worth it for you, to not have to deal with asking for the same sauce 4 times in a row.
It's really starting to be, yeah.
Does Leslie ever go with you to these excursions to
Sometimes.
see it happen?
I don't know if maybe not. Maybe I'll have to take her with me.
Yeah, maybe she can interpret where you went wrong.
I didn't go wrong at any point.
Maybe you said, how do you say it?
Gangnam.
Gangnam. Gangnam. Gangnam. Gangnam.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not saying you're saying it wrong. I'm
Yeah.
trying to pronounce it.
But I'm just saying, like, if I pronounce it probably closer to a Thai person, that can't make it better.
Well, it's a Korean word.
Is it Korean or Thai?
Korean.
Okay.
But I'm just wondering if you're saying it wrong. I don't know how to say it. Gangnam. Gangnam.
We have the internet.
Okay.
We can look this up.
Gangnam.
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 Gangnam. Not Gangnam. Gangnam.
Okay. But it's pretty close.
Maybe not to Spanish ears.
That's you know what, that actually is a fair point.
It is so part of the thing in Montreal or Quebec is everyone speaks Quebecois, which is like a French dialect.
Mhm.
And I started learning French last year on Duolingo. Not that I'm any good at it, but hearing people speak French naturally or Quebecois naturally, it is so hard to distinguish simple words because they like if you're not saying something like if you're not enunciating every word clearly, words will run together and you're like, is this all one word? It's very hard to understand a language that isn't yours if you're not a native speaker. So,
No, absolutely.
but
But
Also,
on the
also,
other
also,
hand,
it's not an English word, but
if you work in a restaurant and you don't speak the language, I think you might be familiar with all of the items that you can sell that people will ask for.
so
I mean, I just
I feel like I had this same guy when I went there. Because I'll go and I'll be like, I'll do a tortilla, and they go, bowl? I go, tortilla. Even though they don't call it a tortilla there anymore,
Yeah.
they call it a Sam.
Well, so I go through that. I go through that process ordering. The thing about that is it's always one or the other. So when they say the wrong thing, you just go no, and they go, oh, it's this. But like
Where are they keeping the Gangnam sauce? Gangnam sauce.
Gangnam,
Gangnam.
right with the other sauces, it's right there.
You can't just reach around and be like, this one.
Yeah, I try to, but it's like, I have to like reach around and then point.
You should have the finger. You should have the finger on the ready, and you should.
Well, I
Mm-mm.
can't really tell. You can't tell which one it is from
him pointing directly to it, to almost touching the nozzle.
Well, but like there's not. You can't see the labels, and like a lot of the sauces have like similar
I
colors.
see. So just to pull them out and be like, you're like,
Yeah. Well, no, he just says the different sauces, and then he points to the sign that contain all the sauces except the Gangnam sauce. And then I say no, and that's when the other person gets involved.
I think that you should complain to Cilantro and say, hey,
I don't want to do that,
dude,
because I don't want to.
not about him, about their signage, about their ordering process. You know what's the fucking easiest way to order something is when you go to like a Thai restaurant. You're like, I want the P12, and they go, sure, that's easy. A P12. I know exactly what that is.
Yeah.
You don't have to try to pronounce something that you're not good at pronunciating.
It is a problem because I tried to just order online so I could get over this problem, and you can't even put the Gangnam sauce on in the online portal.
That is a huge issue.
Yeah,
with the Gundam sauce. Gangnam. I keep saying Gundam, and that is so incorrect. It's not even funny, but it's the first place my brain goes to.
Okay.
Yeah, I tried to. I was like, looked up the pronunciation of a word, and I wanted to order this thing at a Korean place, like a Korean stand in the H Mart. And I went up and I said, "Can I have this thing?" And they go, "We don't have that here." It's like on the menu. I guess I just said it wrong. I went, "Okay, I'll just have French fries." But to my credit, I went to that barbecue wings place that we went that one time, and I got it there. And I said it, and they were like, "I know what you're saying."
Nice.
It might not have been perfect, but
Yeah.
I got it there. Delicious. Little rice cakes in spicy sauce.
Do you feel like how do I even phrase this? I feel like it is.
I know exactly what you're going to say. Can I
Okay,
guess what you're going to say?
Tell me.
You're going to say, do you think it's douchey of people to like overpronounce words that are not in their language? Like if you go, el pollo.
Oh, that's not what I'm saying.
No,
at
okay.
all.
Let's cut that part.
What?
Cut the part.
No, that's just you being over. You're just being sensitive about me attacking you.
Are you attacking me?
No. Isn't that what you were saying?
No,
I
I just
felt like
thought,
I was
just thought
judging you?
maybe that brought up the thought. I didn't
No,
think
no,
you
no.
really cared that I said a word the way it's meant to be pronounced.
No, what I was thinking was, like, this is particularly true for French speakers.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like a lot of other languages, when as an English speaker you're trying, they get kind of annoyed that you're not pronouncing things correctly. Whereas I would never, unless I didn't understand them at all, I don't correct other people's accents from other countries.
So I have an image in my head of what a French person is like, but I don't know that I've ever met a French person. I've met French Canadian people, and I have had that experience. But
maybe this is more of a French thing than other language thing, because the French are kind of snobbish assholes.
but I, on the same token, like when I was in Montreal and I would try to speak it, sometimes they'd be like, just use English. More or less, they would say that. But then other times, people would be like people that I know that are native French speakers, they'd be like, oh, that's really impressive. I didn't know that you could even say 3 words. Very good.
Yeah, but that's from people you know.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah, I mean, I went to ask for toilet paper, and I strung together a child sentence, so maybe that was why. But yeah, she was like, "Yeah, okay." It's like just trying. Like she didn't speak. She did not speak English, and if she did, it was very little. Because we had this experience before where we went to ask for toilet paper, and she was like, "I don't understand." So I tried it in French, and she was like, "Okay," and she got me like a half roll. It's like, dude, I'm staying here for a week.
Uh,
Oh man.
uh,
But
but speaking of French,
yeah, French. Now I went to when I left. The reason I was gone was I went to Canada. I went to a LARP event called Bicoline. Um, what this is a. Do you know what a Ren Fair is?
yes,
Okay, so imagine you've been to TRF at all, Sherwood.
I've never been to a Ren Fair, but Leslie has.
Okay, so imagine like a Ren Fair, this has a bunch of constructed medieval style buildings. This particular one is like a couple towns strung together, and then between and interspersed throughout are different camps, whether they be of tents or of buildings or a combination. Um, and it is a week long, this event specifically is a week long LARP event where about 5,000 people come together. You all are in character for a week, and you wear medieval or fantasy fitting clothing for a week. Everything needs to be what they call decorum, which is like you can't have your cell phone out. Else, everything you do or wear or whatever has to fit the period of time that they're going for, or the fantasy setting that they're going for. Like that means like no sunglasses, no cell phones, no whatever. Shoes are kind of an exception. Most people will look the other way if you're wearing more like not bright colored, but like if like I wore hiking boots a lot and sandals a lot because last year I wore like accurate boots and my feet were blistered the whole time, and I was like, I'm going to be comfortable this year.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So it is a week long event. You're basically living in a medieval town, and this thing. Bicoline has events throughout the year, smaller events where like a few hundred people will go to, and they're generally like approximately once a month. But this is the big one. They call it the Grand Bataille, which is the Grand Battle, and it's fucking incredible.
So, so if you can't have phones and shit, do you have footage? Do people take footage?
So you need to disguise the devices that you're using so that they don't affect other people's immersion. Because if I'm walking around with my phone out, I'm going to get kicked out forever.
Oh, so they're very serious.
Yeah,
about
they give you a warning, but you will get asked to leave.
Wow.
And it's not easy to leave Bicoline because it's in the middle of fucking nowhere. But yeah, so like Grace took. Well, I did the filming because I was filming her, but she had a couple different ways. Like I was taking footage for Grace, and she had a couple different ways to disguise it that she had made before coming to the event. And one was like looked like a mandrake from Harry Potter, just like a plant with a little face on it, and then like hidden in the leaves and stuff was a hole where her phone sat. That worked okay. And then she had another one that was just a GoPro within a flower, and I just kind of strapped that to my chest, and that was great. Hard to see. Blended in well and did great footage. So Grace has put up a couple videos on her TikTok of it, and they're fucking adorable.
Awesome.
She made this dragon called Pickles, and Pickles was a puppet that she had, on one hand and then strapped around her, or like laid around her neck. And Pickles had a little voice box, and Pickles shot smoke out of his nose. He had like kind of like a pig nose. He shot smoke out of his nose. And so when I would film, I was controlling the smoke, so I would do that. And the little kids fucking loved Pickles, dude. It was unbelievable. Like, there was this one girl named Eleanor, and she met Pickles and then talked to us for about half an hour. and we were like, all right, we gotta go, but we'll be back. And then Grace and I left, and then I came back probably an hour later, and Grace was still off doing stuff. And when I came back, she was still there at the camp, at our guild sort of camp area. We have a
Mhm.
couple. They have a couple buildings and some tents, and she was there, and because her camp is nearby, um, she was just waiting for Pickles to come back. And so, I said hi, and she had brought Pickles a stash of treasures. These all were rocks and sticks and stuff, but he loved them. Pickles loved the sticks and the rocks and everything. But there was just like a collection of all these like things that she deemed Pickles worthy and brought for Pickles. It
It's
was
so awesome.
so fucking cute, man. Yeah, that was like for sure a fucking highlight. But yeah. So I mean, the rest of the event, kind of backing up a little bit. There are guilds,
Mhm.
like you might expect. So if you go to the event, you're going to need to. I don't think you can really. Well, I guess you can go. You can't if you camp outside of the grounds. They have a place called Non Decorum. You can go camp basically outside the fence in a normal tent, not in the guild, whatever. But if you're within the barriers of the boundaries of the place, you're with a guild camp. You're either prospecting for a guild, like trying to join them, or you're with one. So guilds there. So the buildings there are all owned, other than a couple that are owned by the place. They're all owned by guilds. So like
Oh, okay.
you're walking through a town, and every single building is a guild building. So this is a guild house or a guild hall, a guild barracks, whatever. So what makes it like really immersive is when you walk through the town, like there are people on different levels, like hanging out, like smoking, drinking, and it's just a medieval town. And it's like,
Yeah.
when you go to Ren Fair, all these buildings are just little shops.
Right.
But here, this is just where people are living. They're having fun. They're drinking with their buddies. They're doing loud shit, and it's just the most immersive and fun experience. And the LARP side of it is as much or as little as you want.
Mhm.
For us, it's pretty light. Like we just kind of change our names and then act the same
Mhm.
for the most part. My name is Ulf. I'm a Viking. It's just big. My only character trait is when I do something stupid, I just say my name. I go Ulf. Like if I knock something over, that it kind of makes up for it. So, um, yeah, and so like our guild has a couple buildings. One is the place where we hang out. They have like sort of like a kitchen area and a couple picnic table areas. And honestly, this year we spent most of our time just hanging out there and drinking and talking to people. And most of our friends just came and visited us. So we did a lot of walking around, but like I would say a lot more time was spent in camp this year. We have a few different bards. We have one person that is a fucking bagpiper. She's amazing. She's like a professional bagpiper. Like she's played for the Queen before she died of England.
Oh, the real queen.
The Queen. Yeah. No, we have queens in the game too. She played for her too, but also the real Queen.
I thought you were saying like the queen of the game, and I like the way you said it. And I was like, I mean, yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
it's very cool. Yeah. No, she's fucking legit. She's dope. And we have a mandolin player who also sings, very lovely voice. And then we have a harpist who brings a fucking harp to this event. So we just have we had just these people playing music a lot of the times. They were singing. There was a lot of debauchery. It was fucking blast.
That's cool.
One night we had our guild sort of split into two. It's a married couple, and originally it was just one guild, and then the husband was like, I want to restore the old guild that we used to have. So now we're all in one house basically in one area, but we're split into two guilds. And the guy's guild is a Scottish guild, so he had it's called a burn supper. And I don't know if this is all traditional burn supper stuff, but it's a Scottish thing. And um, it was like a ceremony, and part of the ceremony is like presenting the haggis. So like the haggis got carried around in circles around everyone, and you had the bagpipe playing, and there was like like speeches said, and throughout this whole thing, like if there was a lot of toasts, and the rule was you always had to have something in your cup. If you toast with an empty cup, you're gonna have to fill it up, drink it, and then fill it up again. um, and it was fucking madness. It was so much fun, and like Obviously the more time went on, the more toasts became frequent, and people were
Mhm.
just toasting at fucking everything, like, a toast to the haggis. And it's like it's so rarely have these times where you have a group of 20 people and you're all just yelling at the top of your lungs, but it's like it's okay because you're all just having fun
Right.
and shouting and drinking, and it's just fucking fun, man.
That's
Um,
cool.
it's really relaxing. This year I used my phone a little bit because I was checking up on cats,
Mhm.
even though I didn't last year. But it was only for like a minute or two a day because there's no service there anyway, and to maintain my Duolingo streak. Um, but yeah, Beacoline is a fucking good time. And then, the other really big part of this is the actual battles. Um, there's a bunch of battles. There's three big battles throughout the week, and then like the third one is the big one. But there are battles of like 5,000 fucking people
That's
on
crazy.
a battlefield with LARP weapons. Uh, it is utter madness and such a pleasure. So the way it works is like um, your all of your body is broken up into like torso, head, uh, arms, legs, and then every body part has one hit point. So if I take my sword and I bop you on the head and you don't have a helmet on, you're dead. If you wear leather, it gives you 1 point of armor. If you wear metal, it gives you 2 points of armor. It doesn't include chainmail. Chainmail is still one. Um, so if you're fully armored, I'd have to hit any given body part 2 times. The torso, or 3 times. So if it's the torso and I hit it 3 times, you're dead. If I hit your arm 3 times, then just your arm is dead.
Mm.
So like I was carrying around a two-handed sword and no armor, so I would get hit in the arm once and I couldn't use my sword. So I was basically dead and useless. But it was so much fun, dude.
That's cool.
We didn't run the cannon this year. We let other new guildmates do that because number one, it's exhausting, but number two, other people should have fun too.
Mhm.
But we had a cannon. We were defending the cannon, and by cannon, I mean a fucking cannon. Exactly what you think of when you think of a cannon, except it fired giant foam balls with propellant. It was propane fueled. You light it, and
It's crazy.
it's so cool, dude. Um, a lot of the battles are big shield walls with monsters and archers, and it's just fucking chaos. Like everything you can think of in a medieval battle is there.
Man, that
Um,
sounds so fun.
it is.
So you're battling over something, I assume? Is this like a
I never really.
legacy LARP
It
event?
is legacy, so it's been going on for 25 years. So guilds guilds are part of allegiances to countries. Like we're aligned with a country or kingdom, sorry, kingdom of Argon, and Argon is aligned to some other greater allegiance or alliance, and you're fighting for a side, and if the side wins, they get something. I don't fucking
Hmm.
know the metagame side of this. Like I've never even looked at the online side where all this stuff is kept track of. All I know is that we're having fun, and my guild is dealing with all the like someone else in my guild is dealing with all the paperwork.
You're
Um,
just Ulf.
I'm just off. Yeah, it's just there's too much. It's too complicated for me. But I only know this much. So
That sounds awesome.
yeah, man, it's a fucking good time. Yeah, that was
Cool.
Bico, and then after Bicoline, Grace came home to take care of kitties, and then I went to see my dad up in upstate New York on Lake Champlain. That was really nice. Got to see my sister as well. Like we hadn't all been together in like 15 years.
Oh,
So
wow.
you're like all in one place at one
Yeah.
time. Well, in my wedding we were, but I should say just the three of us. It's
Mhm.
like the first time in fucking as long as I can remember. Um, but we got together. She brought my niece, who's very cute, but she's in her like screaming phase, so she just like screamed a lot, very cutely, but goddamn so loud. And the whole time, my sister's like, "Don't you want one?" And I'm like, yeah, totally. Sounds great. She watches this, so she's gonna. But I love her. She's very cute. My niece. My sister's also very nice. Yeah,
Man, that's cool.
long string of words. Sorry, those very scatterbrained thoughts,
No, no, no.
but it was a good time.
I mean, you were gone for like 2 weeks. That's a long time to be gone.
It was a long time. The New York trip was difficult because I was so tired at the end of that event. I was like pretty wiped out, but climbed a mountain. Might have been the easiest mountain to climb. We finished climbing mountain. Probably biggest mountain, easiest mountain. So can't believe how easy that was for me to do it. So easy for me. Yeah. That was fun.
So how'd that go?
I did it.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I was like, I definitely did not want to do it the whole
Yeah.
time I was doing it, but we did it, and that was good.
Man,
And yeah,
I would love to be in a place where I could hike.
you say that until you fucking do it.
I like hiking.
This fucking sucks.
No, I like hiking.
Yeah, I do too.
There's something for me. There's something pretty zen about getting into that flow of like one foot in front of the other. Like when you're, particularly if you're like huffing and puffing, but like you get into this rhythm where it's like it's hard, but you can kind of
That's
you hit this rhythm where you're just
that's
going.
that's what they call runner's high. Like that is,
Oh yeah,
you
back
know,
when I
you
used to be able to
your
run.
endorphins are just going, and you know you've crossed the threshold of like how much you need to sweat and work out for it. Like it sucks leading up to that threshold, but once you cross it, you feel like
Right.
you can go forever.
Yeah.
That's the feeling you're talking about. Yeah, that's a great fucking feeling.
Oh yeah.
I didn't get there, but
Yeah.
maybe one day. Yeah, should hike. Should go for walks.
I can't hike around here. I'll die
You will die.
in 110 degrees. It's crazy.
It's so crazy.
And also, there's the only good hiking is an hour away, and that's good hiking. It's just desert,
Yeah.
basically.
I've been hiking along the green belt here in springtime, and it's all right. And then there's a million fucking people.
That's the other
There's
part.
so
Yeah.
many fucking people live in Austin.
Like I spent such a long time. We used to live years ago. We used to live in a place, and there was this little park that had this little trail. Not little park. It was just this little forested area,
Mhm.
and it just had like the perfect size trail to either walk or run on. And there was never anybody there. And but you can't find. But this was 10 years ago. You can't find that anymore in Austin.
Dude, when I first moved to this house, we lived near a place that was just like all wooded. And I drove there on like the way to the grocery store one day, and I was like, holy fuck, I have woods. There's a little lake. There's 2 lakes. This is amazing. It's all gone. It's
Damn.
all houses now.
Yep.
They killed all the animals there.
Yep.
Fucking horrible.
It's bad.
So horrible,
The
dude.
city is so jam-packed, crowded.
Yeah. Did you hear about what's happening in, or what happened in Burning Man?
They like flooded there. I saw that people were being told that you basically have to fend for yourselves. So what was the results of that?
I wish I didn't come prepared. This just reminded me of it. But like, I don't know. There was
Look it up.
videos coming up on TikTok of people stamping around in like a foot deep of mud in like sandals, and everyone's like trench foot, trench foot, trench foot, trench foot. And apparently, like I don't know, like the sand or the dirt there is so like it is such that getting it off you is very difficult. I don't know what property makes it that way. But you just see all these influencers on there, just influencers and rich kids, just being like, "This is the worst disaster since 9/11." It's like, no, not really, but it's pretty funny. But they're
Yeah.
stuck in a desert, so it's a one way. I don't know if they're still stuck, but it's a 4-mile stretch. But it's a 4-mile stretch with that many people in normal conditions. That 4-mile stretch takes about 11 hours to drive.
Yeah.
So this 4-mile stretch is non-traversable. It's the only road in and out, and people are, I think, still stuck there. Maybe.
So it looks like people are finally getting out.
Okay, they were stuck there longer than they were supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah. It is. I don't feel bad because Burning Man is just a place where rich kids go now, and like you were saying,
Yeah.
it used to be like this hippie festival
Right.
that was like this spiritual desert experience, and now it's just a bunch of fucking rich people.
It's just a bunch of rich people, a bunch of artists that have way too much money for some reason,
Yep.
and they're building ridiculous creations. Yeah, and a bunch of people that have no perspective on life, thinking that they're going to get perspective there,
Right.
when all they get is mud.
Yeah.
This
time.
Yeah, what a fucking mess. Oh well.
Yeah.
Sucks to be rich, I guess. Okay. So first suggestion comes from Aluga Lang, who is a fantastic person, by the way, in our Discord.
He's awesome.
He suggested that we give a list of events that are happening on the server. Right now, I don't really know of any other than there is a movie vote going on right now that started 4 days ago.
Yeah, that Alulang he runs movie nights sporadically. I don't know if he has it on any sort of schedule.
Yep.
I am going to try to remind myself to do it this time, is to put that up on the actual event on the server.
Oh, did you put an event? Is there an events tab now?
No, so you can
Oh,
create an
server
event
events. Got it.
in the Discord.
Yep.
So hopefully I'll do that.
Yep.
Um,
You're running a Tales from the Loop game. That's not open, but it's something that you are doing, which is
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
How's that been going?
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't been able to do it the last 2 weeks, and we probably only have a couple more sessions, but it's been really fun. We've been having a blast. Mambo, who is one of the people in our Discord, he's been running it.
He's
and
DMing it.
Yeah, he's
Nice.
been DMing
He seems
it.
like a
and
nice guy.
He's really cool. Like the story, the mystery is really compelling and interesting. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, we
It's
did
awesome.
I missed the second movie night. The second movie night was the D&D movie, but I ended up watching it on the plane just so I didn't feel left out. Great fucking movie. I've already seen it, but it's so good. The first night we watched, and I'm sad you were not there because it is a good movie called The Borderlands. I think in the UK it's called Final Prayer.
I need to go watch. I
It's
keep
just
forgetting to
fun.
watch it.
It's dumb. I like it. It's not dumb. It's very interesting. But yeah, so those are the ongoing events, and pretty regularly there will be people just hang out and voice. I haven't really done that yet. I need to. I just have been busy. But if that comes up on a night where I'm not doing something, which is my life is sort of settling out now and becoming more normal, I will definitely be hopping in.
Yeah, I don't think. We don't have many other events other than.
That's not to say there won't be.
Yeah,
Please join the Discord if you're watching this and you're not. It's awesome.
I need to spend more time working on it.
Yeah. Let's see. He wants to hear about the LARP event, says Matt, which we already talked about them. Manbo would like to hear the boys' whale calls. So I'll start.
What?
Is that pretty good?
That's great.
Okay, now how is yours?
That's great. Well, I don't think we. I think we are. I mean, I can't beat it. Sorry, Mambo.
That's kind of why I just did it. I was like, if I think about it too much, it's gonna. Thoughts on from C3 Summerin. Thoughts on the vote to add the video game industry to the strikes. Personally,
Go ahead.
sorry, go on.
No, you go.
No, please.
No,
I
after you.
insist.
Please go.
Okay, yeah, it's pretty cool. Go
on. I haven't been following this, so I don't know. I don't know what the situation is.
I think there's a vote going on right now to add. I think it's writers specifically to the SAG-AFTRA strike.
Oh,
Or
okay.
actually, no, it might also be performers. I should know more.
I don't know.
Either way, obviously in support of it. If it is voice actors, man, you would think that voice actors are doing okay money-wise.
Not unless you are incredibly prolific.
Yeah, I think like even people like you think like Troy Baker and Nolan North are probably doing fine financially, but they're not probably like the rich people you think they are. Not that I have any real idea of their financial situation, but like these people are working their fucking asses off, and I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm sure that industry is there's I don't know if it's a problem for the industry, but I would assume it is that now a lot of high profile games are just getting Hollywood actors to do voice acting instead of reaching into the well of these companies' typical voice acting.
Right.
That's gotta suck.
It does. And it's they're probably doing it for a mix of the talent and the recognizable voice, but like the marquee, like the name on the marquee of like, oh, we have so and so doing a voice in our game is a big thing to say in marketing. Which people say if you're in Hollywood, you're not getting paid for the role, you're getting paid for your name. So the more you the more of a name you are, the more money you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Which maybe that's true. I mean, but I don't think that's true for voice acting. Like, yeah, obviously Troy Baker, Nolan North, those names.
Right.
I don't know if they're getting paid for their names. Like, they're talented people. They can do fucking every voice in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think a lot of voice actors, like actors, they're working. Like, you have to constantly have a stream of work, and if you don't, you're working other jobs to support yourself. And yeah, especially when video games make the most money
It's
out
a
of
huge
any
industry.
media, right? Out
It's
of
massive.
more than movies.
Yeah.
Well, that's revenue. I don't know about how that equates to everything else, but it's humongous, and people with talent deserve more pay and recognition.
Yeah, I mean that's a problem in the video game industry because I saw something a couple days ago that there was like this poll that polled like the thousands and thousands of people working in the video game industry, and the overwhelming majority of them said that their career's not sustainable. And that's a fucking problem when you.
Is this like development in general?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because video game development is so fucking expensive.
It's so expensive, and that like the model for so many studios is to like build up an employee base, crunch on a game, release the game, cut down.
Right.
Which is just like not.
Hi, Solaire. Hello. Hi, buddy.
And it's crazy. Like, you look at software development jobs, and anyone who's like a software engineer will tell you, like, yeah, the money is not in games. You're going to get paid like a third of what you do to be a developer in games than you are just working for any given tech company, which sucks.
Yeah,
because everyone, I would love to work on games. Who knows? I still might, but and if I was going to go into software engineering, I'd probably do it for the money. And if I can get a lot more money at a different job with more job security, I'd probably do that.
Right. Yeah. So in general, yeah, I hope that video game employees do join the strike.
Yeah. I hope that there's a better distribution of wealth in fucking general.
Yes, I agree.
My cats are going crazy.
Just going all over the place. No, I'm very much with you. And like strikes and unionization are part of how that happens. So I'm very supportive of that.
Yeah.
It's gonna just selfishly, the next year or two is gonna suck because there's gonna be this massive content drought.
Yeah, I mean there already was. Like 2023 was the year where we recovered from the COVID drought. But that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. This is pure selfishness being like, I'm bummed about this, but this is like this is such a small price to pay for people to get paid what they're worth and for executives and companies to stop sucking up all the revenue.
Yes. And I'm going to look this up real quick. Oh, it's specific to, hold on. Seems like a lot of their conversation is regarding voice and performance capture, not necessarily writing. So I was wrong on that. And a big topic of discussion is the use of AI in performance and voice. Because, that's going to be a fucking huge fucking problem.
I mean, that's what most of the Hollywood strike is about.
I thought most of the Hollywood strike was about like Netflix and streaming rates and not having what's that called when you get money for stuff that you've already done in the past? Repayment.
Royalties.
I'm
just now realizing I don't know much about the strikes, and I should know more about them.
Okay, I'm sure AI is a discussion. From what I've heard, a lot of it is surrounding like, the way writing used to be. Like people are comparing their like old checks from writing to what you get now because the deals are structured so much differently. Like when you sell to a streaming service, there are no royalties. There are no, you just get like a shit amount of money if you're a writer.
Right.
So that seems to be what, from my understanding, it is. And then lastly, from Dumper Nugget, can Hudson sing karaoke?
That's not what it says.
It says, what are your thoughts on karaoke? And what's your favorite song? I've never done karaoke. I'm like not. You couldn't. I mean, I want to in Japan when I'm there. Like I want to do it, but
Hmm.
I've never done it. Have you ever done karaoke?
I've done it once.
How did that go?
It was fine. I think I'm actually pretty decent at sing. I think I'm a decent singer,
Oh, nice.
but I like we just saw earlier. If I'm gonna get up in front of people and do stuff, I have to be drinking.
Yeah, I think that's part of the fun.
I have way too much anxiety.
Yeah, I will never do it. Sometimes I sing in front of Grace, and sometimes I like think I'm singing well, and she goes, "Would you stop?" And I go, "Oh, I was just trying to sing good." And she's like, "Yeah, but if you're gonna sing, like, you can't just you're just screwing around. Like, you're making it sound bad." And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I was. You're right." That's a real exaggeration on what those conversations had ever been, but yeah, I sing all the time in the shower, and oftentimes it's pretty bad, but it's fun.
Yeah,
Do you sing in the shower?
I don't sing in the shower.
Do you sing in your personal life?
I sing listening to music. I sing along with songs that I know.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. What song would you sing along with?
Um, it's a good question. Let me look at my Spotify.
Okay.
Let me look at my top songs.
I like to sing songs that have no vocals and are just instruments. So I just do the
That
noises of
that
them.
sounds exactly like I. You know, I probably could have guessed that about you. Oh my god. Where
The song I've been singing a lot lately is Bag End. He's got to poop. He needs some poop encouragement.
I like to listen to there's a lot of songs that come from the Guardians of the Galaxy playlist, but
It's a good
I've
one.
been working on just like a general that vibe driving list for a long time. So like a lot of these songs that I like to sing along with, like "The Promise" by Win and Rome,
I don't know it.
"Dancing in the Moonlight" King Harvest.
I know that one.
Let's see, "Hooked on a Feeling."
It's a good one.
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
One last thing. I'm listening to a little book called Lord of the Rings right now. It's
Oh,
great.
yeah?
The Andy Serkis does an audiobook of it.
Mhm.
Fucking so good, dude. He's amazing. I can't wait to hear his Gollum impression.
That's cool. I feel like I have seen that story enough that I'm good.
Have you ever read the books?
I read the first one a long time ago,
Okay.
like when I was in high school, I think.
I had never read them. I tried to when I was younger, and I was like, yeah, I'm pretty stupid, so I'm going to put this down. And now that I'm listening to it, I'm like, this was not a hard book to read. I must have been stupid.
Yeah, it's great besides Tom Bombadil.
That stuff, I'm glad I could just hit play on because I would. That was, I mean, maybe he shows up again in the other books,
Mhm.
but
What the fuck was Tolkien thinking?
I don't know. Like he can't rhyme. Like none of his songs rhyme.
It's so bad.
Yeah, he reminds me of myself. Yeah, and I don't like him, so that tells you a lot.
Yeah.
No, good books though. I mean, good books so far. I'm almost done. The first one, and then I don't know what I'm gonna read next. I need suggestions actually.
We could talk about it.
Are you reading anything?
I'm almost done. I'm struggling to get through the end of it because it's covering a part of history that I'm not super interested in, but there's a behemoth of a book called Post-War. It's basically a brief, I say brief, it's 55 hours long. It's like 1,000 pages. The history of the world, of Europe, not the world, from 1945 to the early 90s. And just like
Chronologically?
yeah, just how everything transpired and what happened to all the various nations. And it's a very interesting book because I really like reading history stuff.
Yeah, but it's nice to be educated on all that stuff.
But yeah, I'm almost done with that. And it's good, but it's like I'm at the point now where it's like talking about the like Serbian Balkan crisis in the 90s, and I'm just like not that like I don't think that was terrible and that sucked for a lot of people.
Fuck Serbians, man.
but I just don't care at all. Like, I don't want to learn about this
You don't
history.
have the brain space for it. That's fair. Okay.
On the book note, the last thing we should say is that hopefully next week we'll release our very belated book club.
Dude, I gotta fucking reread it by this point. I don't remember any of it.
I'm gonna have to read a synopsis to remind myself.
Yeah. Did you finish it?
I did mostly finish it.
Motherfucker.
This is like parts towards the end where I was like, I got it. I don't need to keep.
I don't even remember the end. That's how remarkable it was. But it's important for us to talk about books we don't like.
Yeah. So we'll talk about A Bug's Life next week.
Yeah.
And we'll put that episode out, and then hopefully, so between now and then, let's figure out what book we're gonna read next time.
Was it you suggested this last one?
Yeah. So good
I
luck.
don't have a good book now. Okay.
We can
We can workshop.
we can workshop it.
Okay.
And
What
then
about
we
that
will
one?
try to read Occult Chemistry.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it cool? We will learn cool spells.
It's chemistry. Okay, Hudson.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Because we're going away
if we
from
don't
this
if we
episode.
don't see you till next time. Bye.
Bye.
Wait, before we go, there's an episode about Starfield. It's somewhere in the link is somewhere.